So we're going to go down to the Spurn Heritage Coast soon, viewers, in our next little adventure in the rain. I was last here in December 22 with Harry and it was very cold. It's warmer today but quite moist. And this is the Spurn National Nature Reserve and today we are going to explore it and show you it, basically. That is the plan. That is the YWT Unimog as we head off along there. It's a few kilometres walk to Spurn Peninsula. They don't like dogs. It isn't an anti-dog thing, it's because this is a nature reserve where we're going, and there's all little tweety birds and bugs and stuff down here. There's also Highland cows, which were introduced early 2023 to keep the sea buckthorn under control, and they've used cows to do it. Moo. Moo. Moo indeed. So we're going down here, the no dog zone, dogs not allowed, down here, which is that way. So we shall do that. Right viewers, so we've just come across something, and if you watch my previous video, there was a gun emplacement over there and it's now here. This is the gun emplacement. I've filmed this a few times because it looks like it had a Vickers QF gun on it. That is the base for that gun, and it's now getting washed into the sea. Such is the power of the tides and the currents here, the constant shifting sands of Spurn, and that is part of the road there that's just collapsed into the mud. It is amazing the strength and agility of nature, and that Vickers QF anti-aircraft gun mount is now slipping into the North Sea. This is a new feature to me, viewers. The electric fencing here to keep certain animals out and to create a safe haven for certain types of beach nesting birds. We're currently on the breached section of the peninsula, viewers. This is where the sea now washes over the top of the point. The breach happened in about 2013, I believe. There was attempts made to resurrect the road with a temporary road, but the sea has simply washed it away. What we're left with is, apart from high tide, we can get across. High tide was about 40 minutes ago, or slack high was about 40 minutes ago, and now the sea is retreating as the tide goes out, and we're making our way across. So that gives us all the time we need to go down, explore all the things that I want to show Ben, because he's not been down there before, and make our way back again safely before the tide comes back in. Did I just see a seal? It's that dot in the centre of the screen. I'll try and zoom it in, but there is a seal. We do get seals in the sea in this area. There's also quite a lot of shipwrecks. There's a seal, look. That's it. Yeah, it's as close as I'm going to get to a seal in the United Kingdom. That is why dogs are not allowed on the beach, because it was affecting the wildlife. So there's a seal. I was going to do a dad joke, a seal of approval joke then, but I decided not to, because this is a serious channel. Now we're moving on to the more robust section of the peninsula. So viewers, that is us leaving the washover area, which is behind us now, and we're going back on the sturdier land of the peninsula. What happened?
It slipped off the back.
Oh, it's like a tensioner that came off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Still was done it.
Ben's bags had a bit of a blowout en route, but we're now on the hard standing of the road now, so it should make it a bit easier underfoot, because the soft sand is quite hard to walk on. Very slippy, very easy to go over on an ankle. So we're back on the hardened concrete base layer now, as we make our way up towards the first lighthouse. So we're just passing one of the high tide shelters that is supplied by the Yorkshire Wildlife Trust. That is a shelter for anyone who's caught on this peninsula when the sea washes over. You can hear some birds nesting in there, so we're going to leave that alone as we rejoin the main road here. And we're at post number 2. Distance back to the car is 1 mile. And it's saying Spurn Point is to the south, which is what we're doing. And on this map it shows us about bait digging and things, which we don't do, and we're near post marker 51, I believe, a mile in. And we're going to continue on this road to the next feature, which I will film for you, so keep watching. Coming up now, viewers, is the railway of Spurn. It was a single track standard gauge railway, originally powered by sail. There was later a steam locomotive, and then after that there was a diesel locomotive. The engine shed was situated near the large lighthouse that you may be able to see in the distance, and unfortunately the railway became defunct in the 1960s and is now, it sort of zigzags across as we make our way down the peninsula, because the constant shifting sands of the peninsula has rendered the railway unusable. The railway was not connected to the main line. It was used by the military to move personnel and ammunition up and down the peninsula when this was a military fortified point. So viewers, this is talking about the seagrass, and this is what they've been trying to save here by removing the sea buckthorn and trying to reintroduce the seagrass that was a natural inhabitant of Spurn Point. If you want to read more about it, pause your device now, as we now then go that way as we continue along this military road. There's a bit more information about the seagrass here. If you want to read that, pause now. So if there was a pictorial representation of how much the sand has moved, the rail line comes across us at almost 45 degrees here. So that would have carried on to the point. You can see how much has changed on this peninsula, how much it's moved. So, looking at this, if you want to read more, pause your screen now. And this talks about planting the seeds of hope. So they're talking about moving natural seeds, and they're taking the better seeds and they're wrapping them and then replanting them here. And up to now they've planted 4,000 seeds to help the seagrass meadows here. We saw some back there, we saw the seagrass in the sand, but the seagrass will hold the sand together and stop it eroding. So what we're talking about, seagrass in 1900 was all along here, masses of it. Seagrass in 2021 was just that bit left, but they're now replanting it. They've planted 4,000 succeeds. So hopefully the YWT's work will succeed. And if you want to check them out, there is their website, ywt.org.uk. check them out. This is a photo point. Wow. There we are, look. Spurn oysters. So if you want to know more about that, scan that QR code on screen now. I think what you do is you put your camera lens down that cutting there, something like that. Not quite sure how that works, but yeah, just check out that QR code if you want to, as we'd head off on the railway that way, but we need to go on the military road this way. So viewers, some new information here is about 1849 to 1851 there was another breach here, and the port authorities backfilled the area with chalk, huge amounts of chalk, and that is the chalk bank. That's why this part is called Chalk Bank. I never knew that, but I've just read it on this new sign that YWT have put up. So if you want to read some more of that, pause your screen now. So viewers, a risk of this place is you can get cut off. Have you left enough time to return before high tide? We've got about 10 hours, so we're okay. And another thing is the brown-tailed moth caterpillars. They have little stingy bits on them, and you can end up with a really bad rash from those. And there's also, not this time of year, but sometimes you can get on the like white things, look like cobwebs on the plants. Don't touch that either, because that also causes a rash. So we've covered 2.1 miles and we're getting ever closer to Spurn. This is a bit of information about the oysters of Spurn and how they've been reintroduced by the Wildlife Trust. If you want to read more about that, press pause now. Meanwhile, we're a bit closer to the lighthouse. This is what was regarded as the new lighthouse, and it was built in 1895 and stands at 128 feet tall, which is about 40 meters. If you pay a small fee, you can go in the lighthouse on open days. This, viewers, is the site of the Port War Signal Station. From the Second World War, it was demolished in the 1960s and very little remains. This is a view of the Port War Signal Station, or PWSS, there, and that's a view of it. So I'm trying to see where we are. We are about here, I think. We're near the main gates, so we're about here. That's the main gate pillbox, and we're just near there. We're going to look at these guns. These gun emplacements were controlled by the PWSS. There, the HQ was below, and those gun batteries we're going to look at in a bit, so keep watching, viewers. I forgot to say, viewers, if you want to read more about that, pause now. So viewers, here's some more information about the blocks and quarters and things that were here. The lifeboat in it, Spurn Point, so that is the pub. It's where I would have been if you wanted to see me back then. And this is the different areas of where we are, and we are in fact there, that's the gates, and we're near this guard room. So the main gates were here. This is where the gates opened and closed on these runners. We're just going to have a look, because there is some tunnel areas here, but I think it'll all be locked and sealed up. You can come on a military exploration here at Spurn Point. Just make sure the lens is clean. you can come on a military explore, where if you go on the YWTT website, you can come and check this place out, and you can go in there, which is fully padlocked. But we'll just go in and have a little look, and I'll show you some bits. There is a wildlife camera there, look, capture cam there, so we'll be on candid camera. I can see you if you can see me. That is a wildlife camera to stop people breaking in and smashing the place up. So we'll just have a look in there, because there's some information down there, and yeah, I'll just show you. One sec. So we're just going to head down here, viewers. Just going to show you this. In this area, I believe there's some information on the wall. So this is saying that this was the fire command room, and it housed the Humber Area Executive Officer, or HACS. So yeah, that's where we are now. And this is the women of Spurn Point. It talks about the lifeboat in again, to make sure the lens is clean. There we are. And they were naval personnel in 1944, and they've identified quite a lot of them. See if there's any names that are. Look. No, don't know any of those people. I wonder if any of them are still alive. And that is the Fire Command Control Room, or Fire Command Room. If you want to read more, pause now. And then in this room, it's got a sloped ceiling with a central vent and 2 concrete plinths on the floor, and it's whitewashed. Used to have shuttering, and it looks like wildlife has nested in here in the past, but we're not in the season for nesting birds. We've got some cabling going down there into the bunker below. So we'll just have a look at the gate, and I'll see if I can poke you through. But if you want to see more, viewers, get in touch with the YWT on their website, and they do military visits here. So you can go inside here, and there's a man who will tell you all about this area and what it does, what it's all about, etc. I can see daylight down there. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. But that is very well locked up, so it's all secure, which is what we want to see, because we don't want it getting all wrecked. But that's very old. So I'm going to go back up, carry on our explore. So viewers, what we've got here is a little garage area, and it's full of oyster shells, I think they are. Don't know my shells that well, but I think that's what they are. And there's many of them. Yeah, oyster shells, and them crates that they were using for the oysters. Lots and lots of those as we move on towards the lighthouse. So viewers, now we're on the peninsula. We're 2.7 miles from the car, and we've got the caterpillar warning again there. Viewers, if you want to see inside the top of the lighthouse, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you next Thursday at 4 PM UK time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.